Alright guys, I want to talk about something that I've been really desperately trying to seek, I guess you can say, clarity versus knowledge of this topic, because I think it's something very widespread that people always deal with, mainly guys, and sometimes even mostly girls too, that I really want clarification of, because I think I'm one of the only people in the world that doesn't really agree with what people say. Do you think dating crazy people is not awesome? I mean, I gotta talk about this for days on end because it's just a topic that I personally love. I mean, okay, here's my reason, here's my subject and why I'm talking about this, because you're obviously not gonna stay interested if I just go, oh yeah, crazy people are awesome today, because you're gonna bullshit yourself through the commentary and you're just gonna go, oh, fuck this guy, he's stupid. No, I say this because anybody can date a normal person. And when I say normal, I don't mean normal as in a sense of what's your normal. No, I mean somebody who is chemically balanced, constantly is thinking of their future, you know, thinking day ahead, is not out of touch with reality versus sometimes like to dream, very socially normal, balanced, a balanced person. Now, everybody knows that if you date somebody that's balanced, obviously there's going to be perks to that. Your chances that there's less drama, you're going to have somebody that's less likely to cheat on you, there's safety there, and you get a comfort feeling from that. But in my opinion, I would much rather date, and I'm not trying to go on at me, but I'm saying, wouldn't you want to date somebody crazy? Because, I mean, isn't there excitement in that? Don't you get the sense of, like, tomorrow, who knows? They might be a whole new different person. I may be dating somebody called Kathleen tomorrow, even though her name's Jessica. I mean, if you think about it, you can kind of keep your relationship fresh, you keep ideas moving around. I mean, of course, if we're talking somebody that's crazy and stalking you, doing, like, extreme stalking online, going and constantly visiting your house uninvited, like, unwelcomely uninvited, I mean, that type of person should be cut off right away, because, I mean, if you keep that person around, you're just going to be doing damage. It's a trend that goes around for some reason, because guys and sometimes women are just too nice and to never cut it off. You got to cut those ones off. That's just my opinion on that one, but don't take that for hatred or ignorance. Just, that's my opinion. Anyway, now with, the crazy people, you can always just think of new things when you're dealing with a crazy person. I think it would be the coolest thing in the world to just, and this is my opinion again, I think if I'm laying in bed with somebody who's crazy, and then the next thing I do, I wake up later, and for some reason I'm tied to the bed, and then the woman's sitting there just going, you're gonna have a fun night. That to me, that's exciting. You never know what's gonna happen. Is she gonna go crazy, or is she gonna go pretty romantic, or is this just gonna be something, for emotional bonding? What's the deal? I don't know, because I mean, that's my opinion on the situation. Is, don't you think that type of person is more exciting for you? Now, and there's another reason too, but that's my main thing, is like, don't you think that for a minute, if you're running into somebody who's like, they're crazy, so they constantly think you're cheating on them, or they think you're talking behind their back, or they think you're trying to date somebody else by using them, and there's always those types of levels, so you gotta always take it with a grain of salt by what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is like, it's kind of a turn on to me. Wouldn't you say that if you wanted to date somebody normal, you can find about 1 million people? The only difference is that who do you like, and versus who actually likes you back. What's your personality like? Are you an asshole, or are you a good person? And you can take it a million different ways, and I always wanted to reiterate that, because this is the type of topic where people always go off on me, because I personally think that crazy women are amazing. And the other thing I was talking about was, isn't it kind of a good thing in your life to constantly be with somebody who's a little chemically unbalanced? You get so many people in the world. Just ask anybody that works at a supermarket, a coffee shop. You run into that crazy customer all the time. Don't you ever think maybe for a minute there that the more you hang around those people, the more you can kind of put up with them? Because I see people all the time snap at people because of things like, oh, they're yelling at me, so I have to yell back. Just take it. That's just what happens in life. You get yelled by some asshole, you have to deal with some other idiot, and you just gotta take it. Isn't that kind of something to help you kind of prepare for the world? And I'm not saying go date somebody to help you deal with people in the future. you need to get a sense of perspective from yourself if you're gonna do this. I mean, you go date somebody and then they kind of knock you down a couple pegs. Don't you think you get a better sense of who you are as a person? Maybe I shouldn't put myself on such high of a pedestal. I kind of like that. I mean, like I said, it's just you kind of get this different feeling of dating a crazy woman or a crazy guy. And I mean, I kind of like that idea that somebody is so twisted in the way they're thinking, and this is a little bit more stalkerish, and once again, you don't have to agree with me with this. I think if somebody is attracted to me enough, and this may be because I'm a little bit, you know, I'm overweight obviously, but I mean, if somebody is so attracted to me that they want to constantly see me and stalk me a little bit, I kind of think that's a turn on. Now, if we're talking this is happening every single day, then you got to call the cops. There's a problem. Get her with the psychiatrist, get him with the psychiatrist, and leave their alimony check at their driveway and say, yeah, the court order will be up in a week. But no, if you find somebody who, like, you know, surprises you by kind of standing outside your door and knocking, and it's like, whoa, I didn't invite you over here, but you wanted to come over here? Oh, I was all worried that you were maybe doing something with somebody else. Really? I mean, of course there's always the way to think of it like, oh, that's a little crazy. She thought it was suspicious that I was doing something with somebody else. But maybe in my mind, this is where I'm coming from. She wanted to be with me at the same time. She's so worried that I'm doing something with somebody else that she personally got up to check out and see that it was to see what the situation was herself. And therefore, I find that kind of romantic, and that's just my kind of opinion on this. I mean, I think it's quite an amazing thing to kind of run into crazy women, because I run into so many goth, emo chicks. They're pretty crazy, and I mean, I get a fair dosage of me wanting to tell them to shut the hell up, because it's all about drama. It's all this drama-filled bullshit that nobody cares about, nobody wants to hear it, and that's just something I can't take. But if it's a crazy person, drama's there, but it's literal drama. You know, the constant fear that, you know, somebody may be cheating on you, they may be talking behind your back, maybe they're not being as loyal as you'd like them to be, you know, maybe they're kind of losing interest in you, and you're noticing that early on, and you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I find that completely sexy. I mean, if you can find 20 million people on this world who are perfectly fine, they live happy lives, they got a nice job, they have a nice house, they got animals, they live a life that is quote unquote governmentally normal, I guess you could say. I can't think of a word right now. But you only find about 10,000 people, 100,000 people they had a really traumatic childhood, they had freaking friends who abused them, and just bad things happen. And I'm Mr. White Knight who comes in and says, hey, I'm a good person, I'm a nice person, I'm loyal, I trust you as well as I hope you trust me, and if on the way you kind of get suspicious of me, just know I'll always be there. Unless you're really clinically crazy, then I'm gonna probably say goodbye, because you're scaring the shit out of me, and I'm afraid I'm gonna wake up next morning and you're gonna be holding a knife to my throat. And, you know, that is some scary shit, because it happens. But I just think that that's quite an interesting topic to talk about. So I want you guys' comments. Don't like, don't favorite, fuck that shit. Leave some comments. Leave some dating stories too. Go ahead, and if you want to leave a dating story on a commentary, feel free to chat with me on a Skype or something else, and we'll chat about it. And you know, you can always just get it off your chest.